watching. I'm Pat LaChapelle. I'm working more on my stock market analysis tool today. I'm building a quantitative model to make money on the stock market. If you're interested in, I work on this every day. So if you're interested in stock market, quantitative finance, modeling, AI, machine learning, AI coding, or just markets in general, be sure to subscribe, and you can follow along on my journey as I work on this every single day. So before I get into things, I'm going to do a brief overview of what I've done so far, my future plans, and what I'm going to be working on today. So these are my two goals for the model. First, I want to beat the S&P 500 by a significant margin and make money in all regimes. So if the market's going up, I want to be doing much better than the S&P is doing. Conversely, if the market's going down and the S&P's, if we're in a recession or something like that, which it looks like we're currently going into, I don't want to be beating the S&P but losing money. I want to make money still in those regimes, make a decent return no matter what. Now I'm writing all of this in Python code, so my second goal for the project is to create a usable tool. I'm going to generalize all this code so that anyone can create advanced models for themselves. So this is the outline for what I'm doing. I have data. I'm feeding that into a stock universe because you don't want to use all the data that you have. There's things like ETFs have different price mechanics than common stocks. Also, you don't want things like penny stocks or low volume stocks because those will make your model worse. And low volume stocks in particular are going to have a high slippage. So you're going to lose a lot of money on the transactions. Additionally, if your model's performing really well and I start making a lot of money, or if I get people to invest in the model, it's not going to work if it's low volume stocks. It won't work with a lot of money. The slippage will get really high. So once I have a good universe of stocks, I'm using this to train a returns model. This should predict things like returns for the day, returns for the week, any future target out in time, returns for 30 days, say. It should do returns relative to the market, or probability of going up or something like that. And then once I have this, this should be evaluating good on all of my model metrics. I'm then going to feed it to the portfolio level model, which is going to decide how to allocate money based on the output of the returns model. So I've been working on this since the beginning of the year. These were where I was at. This is where I was at the end of January. Basically, I was able to automate a strategy with light gradient boosting method. But you see here, for a couple reasons, the model is really fragile. So first of all, the only strategy that gave a Sharpe ratio above 1 is if I'm picking one stock per day. Sharpe ratio above 1 is kind of the baseline you need for the model. I changed the model a little bit to predict probability of going up, and I saw that if I increased the threshold up to 54%, I got really good Sharpe ratio above 2.5. Now this looks really good on the surface, but if I increased to 55%, it wasn't making any picks. So for this reason, plus the fact that it's picking one stock per day, if your model's not great, there's only so much you can do at the portfolio level. So I had to go through and basically get a better model. Now I had to iterate through all sorts of features and targets and strategies to do this. Originally, how I had the code organized at the end of January, it was a big mess. I needed to write a new script every time I wanted to change the universe, model, or portfolio strategy. So I cleaned it up and made it into this really diverse code base. You can get it on the GitHub, the description's in the link. But this is what took most of the time. I added all of these features and targets for price data only. So I went through, tried to find a good model. I found a really good model here, which is beating all my metrics. So I'm looking at information coefficient. That's telling me the predictive power of the model in these next four metrics at the bottom here. Standard deviation, the information coefficient to information ratio, both on a daily and annual basis, and then the t-statistic. Those are telling me about the stability of the model. So you don't want something that has really high predictive power but suffers a lot when it's wrong. You're going to have really bad drawdowns if that's the case. You want something with high predictive power, but something that's also stable. So I went through and tested this model every which way I could think of to test it. And at the end of the tests, and once I incorporated everything to make sure that it was working well, the model was actually outperforming the original model that I just showed. So this looked really good, but then when I did a walk forward analysis, you see the performance is falling off with time. It really falls off after 2020. And so even though it's falling off both on information coefficient, the predictive power, and it's falling off on the information coefficient to information ratio, which is giving the stability. But even though it's falling off here on the stability metric, it's still above my threshold for every year. That's not the case for the information coefficient. So I needed to find a better model. I did all sorts of things. I incorporated sectors into the data. That took quite a while. And then I found out that I need to make the universe better. So I was including a lot of stocks that actually aren't tradable or that I don't want the model to learn on. For instance, test tickers from the NASDAQ. These never change in price. And they're basically tests. I don't know what for, either financial firms or for the NASDAQ itself. And originally, when I incorporated the sectors, I wasn't getting any better performance. I had a really good result on Saturday, I think it was. Saturday and Sunday over the weekend. So I added, when I was trying to incorporate, when I was trying to neutralize, so you can neutralize stocks features to the market, but you can also neutralize it to the sector. So when I was originally neutralizing to the sector, I wasn't getting a gain in performance. It turns out you don't want to neutralize everything to the sector. You just want to neutralize mean reversion and volatility features to the sector, because this is relevant. The other features you want relative to the market. So when I used all the features as model 12, which was that successful model, and then I added in additional features neutralized to the sector for all of the mean reversion and volatility features, I saw better performance. So that was a good result. And then when I updated the sectors to be NAICS sectors, so that's North American Industrial Classification System, instead of the SEC sectors, which are outdated, those are from 1930. This is a lot more recent. I get better results. So yesterday, but then when I do a walk forward on that model, it's still not good. So I still need to squeeze some more performance out of this. Also, the walk forward analysis is terminating after 2020. So I need to figure that out. So I was working on that last night with Claude, but then I ran out of the requests. So tell me why the walk forward stops in 2020. So I need to troubleshoot this a bit, but I've also been working on incorporating fundamental features to the model. So I changed the model yesterday so that it would incorporate those. But the problem was, when I ran it the first time, I was getting pretty different performance from that one I showed that was really good. And so I thought, maybe the model just is learning different hyperparameters each run and training a bit differently. So I needed to figure out what was going on with that. So I ran it a second time once the stream ended yesterday. And it gave basically the same results. So I'm going to say here, and this is really good. So when I incorporated the NAICS sectors here, I found that the results are really good. So it's beating, these are my goals for each metric. And so it's beating my goal on the information coefficient. It's also beating it on standard deviation. So this is about, 8 times as high. I'm shooting for 3 to 13, so it's right in that range. The information coefficient to information ratio is beating the threshold by a significant margin, both on a daily and an annual basis. And then the T statistic is not where I need it to be, but this isn't as important of a metric. But it's much higher than it was earlier. So this indicates we have a really good model, but I still need a little bit more performance out of it, which is indicated here. But I want to determine why is this walk forward ending in 2020. That's kind of a problem for me right now. So, for fold 6, test start would be 2021. I looked at the feather file myself, and it has data through 2026. Reassess. Okay, now let me document that the performance is the same once I... so basically, fundamental features are pretty different from the price features, and I have their own... they are implemented in their own script, but when I'm making the model, I don't want to, have to add in a whole bunch of new stuff. So I want to just be able to pass any sort of feature into the model, and the model handles it. So I changed the code so it does that, but now I need to rerun on Model 18 to show that it's working well, and it does. So let me see. Model 18. So here are the results. And let's copy this guy too. Model 18, old code. So the title is Model 18 gives similar results with code updated to include fundamental features. Old code, and here we'll say Model 18 with new code. Oop, not codex. Model 18 new code, so that's how I know I'm good to go. So let's add that here. Why is this erroring out? I'm just gonna exit out and pull it up again. Yeah, so clean analysis, incorporated fundamental features into model. Yeah, so this is working well. Now let's go back and okay, so now I need to, basically I'm doing a transform on the price features, but I don't have any transforms for the fundamental features. So let's, this code should add it in. So let's change fundamental request. And then let's change fundamental engine. Okay, now let's see. So what kind of transform should fundamental features use? What kind of neutralization, sector versus market, should they use, if any? All right, now I'm gonna listen to some music. Because you're using LightGBM, you want to use rank. Why not raw values? So I get why we don't want raw values, but why not CSZ score? Accounting data has massive asymmetric outliers. Oh, right, so then that would be way different. The best neutralization sector. All right, so let's first do model performance with only fundamental features. So this is going to be in model 20. Now I want to try model performance for model 18 with fundamental features incorporated. All right, now I'm going to say some of my tickers in the universe do not include fundamental data. So I need to see, if the model's not improving performance, I might need to go through and pull all of these from SEC Edgar, but that's going to be kind of a big task. So that's, yeah. I'm going to try it without SEC Edgar using the data that I have linked in the description that I'm using for price data. If that doesn't work, I'll need to find some better data. So some of my tickers in the universe do not include fundamental data. For these tickers, the fundamental features should show NaN. Also, make sure that the features will be included every day and are only updated each day. Should use fundamental data. I learn to do right, come on. Each day should use fundamental data from the most recent fundamental report for that stock. The fundamental report should not update until the so let's pull up the fundamental features here. Quick look. You in that dress? All right, so let's read this in. Import pandas as PD, and then df is equal to pd.read feather. Let's go // data / it's quarterly fundamentals, yeah. .feather. So how do I print the whole thing? We'll just say test is equal to df dot head. Let's get the first 5 rows, and then test dot to CSV. Put it in here, test.csv. I think I'm in Explorers, but let's check. Import os.get cwd. I need a different song. Yeah, we're in Explorer, so let's pull that up now. The fundamental report should not update until the... Alright, so let's do df.keys. df.period. Let's do test.period, test.date. Sales, cost of goods, gross profit, selling. So I need to find, is there a report date in here? Let's go actually just to the database. Alright, so let's find the script where I'm getting all fundamental. Let me pause on this real quick and see, did this figure it out? Okay, so let's see, how am I getting fundamental features? So in data retrieval, get fundamental data. Is there anything else? Get sector data. No, this should be it. Now let's do E is equal to pd.read feather. And let's read slash data slash earnings calendar dot feather underscore calendar, not dash. So E update until the report has actually been filed. So if we go here, earnings calendar. So for A, the first is February 18th, 2020. I think I'm going to need to get the SEC Edgar data anyway, because this only goes back to 2016. A stock. Let's look up actually a stock IPO date. So this is going to be bad because it only has data going back to 2016. Alright, so it should only update when the report has actually been filed. Let me look at this again. So A 2022-18, if we go to balance sheet assets, so we have the fundamental data for A going back to 2012, but we don't have the report date. So for 2020, 2022-18, so 2020, that should be the last quarter of 2019. Yeah. But I don't have the report date. I'm using the quarterly reports listed in this database. And then let's just give it earnings. But there are not report dates for each one. So so I'll try this, but this is going to make it worse. Shift the quarters back by 1. For instance, the report on October 31st shouldn't be available until January 31st. Shouldn't be available in my data set. This will prevent look-ahead bias. I included as a file some of what, I'll just say here's what the head, oh yeah, I want all columns. I included as a file an example of what the quarterly report data looks like. So let's go to Explorers, Test. write the logic into fundamental engine.py that avoids look-ahead bias. So if we want to fix this and use more recent stuff, we're avoiding look-ahead bias for sure. But we're going to need the report dates in order to get a better data set, basically. That will be a huge improvement. But I want to see if I just add these fundamental features with this really conservative method, do I get an improvement? Write the logic into fundamental engine.py that avoids look-ahead bias. Okay, that should work. Hey, I'm not sure how to say that name. PR for San. I'm good though, thank you. How are you? Yeah, yesterday's stream, what did I do? So, this is from Sunday. I got really good results. The NAICS sectors, if I neutralize to those instead of the SIC sectors, we're getting a lot better performance. This makes sense because these are modern, updated recently. The SIC sector at left hasn't been updated since 1930. And so I was getting better results with the SIC sector, but it still wasn't, if you look at this decile analysis, it doesn't look good. But then if you look at when I neutralize to the NAICS sectors, that looks really good. So we're getting to a really good model. Now I'm working on incorporating fundamental data. I think I'm going to have to pull that from SEC Edgar though. But we'll see. Here I just want to see how does it work with the data I have from here. And if you want this data, I put the link in the description. To solve this with absolute elegance, we don't need to write complex loops. From first principles, the problem is epistemological. When did the model know the data? If quarter ended on 10/31, the public in your model didn't know the results until 1/31. Therefore, all I have to do is add, okay. Okay, so let's put this in. Now we have the compute method. So let's paste that in. I'll pin your comment, PR for San. Because there's no other comments. Okay, so we have this guy. Now let's go in and make a new model which has just fundamental features. If we only train it on those, how does it perform? And the loading in is all handled, so we could define the model the same way. So if we go to Explorers, Model Explorer, Model 18, so I'll call this Model 21. Because before I do that, I want to see how do just the fundamental features perform. Just fundamental features. And it's probably not going to be very good, but let's see how it does. Oh, okay, one more thing. Write a new feature in the compute phase of the fundamental engine. Automatically. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I have been. I think if I just do this every day for a few hours, hit my head against the wall, a really good model's going to pop out eventually. And as long as I'm still marching forward and making progress, I feel good about it. Even if, there was like a 2-week period where in 2 weeks, I went from having a really good model to not having a good model and not improving it. But, I kept hitting my head against the wall. Now we have some improvements. So in the compute phase of the fundamental engine, let's just say add a fundamental feature. because I want to test it with and without this, which is binary and gives 1 if the most recent fundamental data is available for a stock, it should give 0 if there is no fundamental data available. Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. All right, so otherwise your 0 rows will be deleted before the model can learn. Okay, so now we just need to add this at the bottom of the registry. So I think I could just call these. So if I just do fundamental features, it'll just not learn anything if there's no fundamentals. It'll just average that prediction to like, I don't know, zero prediction for the return, but that's okay. Okay, so in clean analysis, when we're calculating the fundamental features, lazy loading compute fundamentals. So let's search for compute fundamentals. Down, 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 don't bring me down. Okay, so now this should be good. Now let's see. So I guess I'll actually do all the same features as... I guess I'll try 21 first, because just the fundamental features, what's that going to do for us? So, I mean, I guess if this doesn't improve, we can look at just how the fundamentals perform, but for now, let's just let this be model 20. Oh, then we need to add a flag for it at the top. Test model 20 is equal to 1. And this should be really easy. So here, let's say if test model 20 is equal to true. Let's do the test. So model 18. Let's get all of these. And then we're going to add fundamental features into the features. First, we want to save it as model 20. And then let's put here add fundamental features. And I think, I'm pretty sure I could so they should all be neutralized to the sector. I think that's what it said. Okay, so I guess they're kind of different, some of them. So write code which gets all fundamental features with their desired transform and neutralization, sector or market. Now let's look at this guy. So why was this failing? Okay, here's a test. It'll flag any column in the feather file whose data stops before 2025. Yeah, so that's it. But if we look at DF, what the hell? All right, let me think. So what if I just run the Universe Explorer again? Sing with me, where it comes or where it goes. And let me make sure in Universe Explorer we have the correct universe turned on. So Universe 7, yeah. So it should go 2011 through 2026. Let's see what it's doing. We'll see when the output ends. Give 'em back to you. Okay, so this is running. Let's go back to Model Explorer and let's add in the fundamental features. Oh. Okay, let's put this up at the top. Let's say helper functions. And what is that returning? Return requests, yeah. So then we'll say fundamental. Oh. Maybe tomorrow the good Lord will take you away. Fundamental requests is equal to get all fundamental features. And then we'll say features plus equals fundamental requests. And is it getting has fundamentals? Yeah, good. So now we've added those in, and we're getting universe 7 again. So it went up to 2026. Now let's see, does that still fail? When I run the universe script, I see it get data through 2026. Now let's say, but if we just look at df, oh yeah, df.date.max. When I run the code you gave, it shows that it fails in 2020. When I look at the data set, the last rows are in 2020. Simply copy the log. Yeah, but then I feel like that will be too much requests. Hey, Almond Gold. Yeah, hey, how are you? It's, what, you just got off work Germany time if you have a normal job. We have, at my work, we have to meet with people from France sometimes, and it sucks because they, I guess you got off work, what, an hour ago or something? But anyway, it sucks because they get off at 5, so we have like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. we could meet them. And otherwise, it doesn't work. But when I look at the max time in the data frame, it is 2026. This is the core issue which causes the walk forward to be cut off. Nice. I'm envious. The dream. The dream in some ways, you have to be good at time management, which I'm not. So I'm destined to work a normal job till I get on my time management, and then I'll be able to work for myself. Hopefully I could get a good model here and someone will invest in it. Then I could just work for myself. This is the core issue which causes the walk forward to be cut off. Troubleshoot. Alright, so if we go back to, what was I doing? I was adding, so I added in the fundamental features. Alright, so let's run this test for model 20 and see how it works. Turn that guy off. And we'll also see at the same time, does fundamental engine work correctly? Model Explorer. Okay, so let's see how it does. All right, so what do I want to, let's start a PowerPoint slide for this. Model performance with only fundamental features, get rid of that. Model performance for model 18 with fundamental features incorporated, so this is in model 21. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. I'm not the man they think I am at home. I know, no, no. Do you read or even fly over some of the papers that are being released when you want the best model you may be interested? No, I don't. I did like a long time ago. No, I don't add any fear, but before I get that stuff's all more complicated. To be honest, you know, a model that's training on price features and fundamental features, this is very basic. So I think really realistically, what I think I'm doing right now is building up to like the best basic quant model you can get. And then from there, I'm going to need to add in a lot more advanced sort of things like fear, you know, figure out how to calculate stuff, and get some really advanced features. And that's where the edge is going to be, I think. I think all this stuff is kind of basic. But it's fairly complicated. It's not, you know, there's no code that says get basic model. So, and I'm also going to I'm going to need to look for better things than LGBM and stuff, but we'll see. So now I have 158 features. That's a lot. Oh, this is just the price data features. But yeah, anyway, so I need to do, that's something I could look into. What do you mean train from start? Train from the start of the data? Yes, I have to do that. But I'm not sure what you mean train from start. This should be an improvement because it's the same thing that I ran here. Same thing as here which was working really well. It's beating every metric except for the T statistic. So um, with the fundamental features, it should just, you know, give better performance. Even if it's missing fundamental features, it should just, you know, have that in the column for has fundamentals. And then it will learn on that. So if it's missing fundamental features, it'll just revert back to what it was learning here. That's my hope, but we'll see. What are some more advanced features I can add into the model and how? Oh, we have an error. Fundamental features. Oh, no fundamental data path. Duh. So the fundamental data is in quarterly fundamentals, right? Quarterly fundamentals.feather. So let's go back to model 20. Model. So here, just to make sure when I'm initializing the model, I'm saying I'm adding in fund data path. So let's add that in here. Fund data path is equal to // data quarterly fundamentals underscore fundamentals dot feather, comma. All right, now this should run. It's taking a really long time to compute everything. What are some more advanced features and how do I add them? It is my intuition that once I have added all price and fundamental features, I have succeeded only at creating a core, a simple quant model. Since this information is widely available, this should be the base level model that any quant can create. As such, the model already exists and the edge should be arbitraged away. I need additional features which will give me an edge. I'm doing my taxes today, so this isn't very exciting, but on the hidden screen you guys can't see, I need to go pull some information. Alright, so let's see what it says about that. what is, oh yeah. Computing transforms and targets. Okay, so fundamentals should come next. Let's see if it fails or works. Yes, it's me. You have the data from, yeah, actually last 15 years. It goes all the way back to 2011. Oh, so you mean do an optimization of the model, train the model a bunch of times and see what gives it the best results? Okay, so let me go back to what I was doing here. Maybe later. Account, reports and statements. Tax center. Okay, download both of those. I need my old tax stuff. Okay, so fundamental engine is not defined. Oh, because I'm not importing it into clean analysis. From fundamental engine. Okay, so we have feature engine. We have fundamental engine. In fundamental engine. Oh. So I deleted the fundamental engine part. Okay, let me copy this and go back. So I don't want to delete the whole fundamental engine. Damn it. Okay, this is the compute. There's the new compute. And what was the request again? Give me what to put into the fundamental registry for has fundamentals. Guess I'm gonna need to pull that stuff up on my phone. All right, here's has fundamentals. Put it down here. Okay, that should be good. And make sure that's saved. Let's run that one more time. Okay, and I'm just going to see how the output of that is. So let's look at more advanced features we could incorporate. Composite fundamental scoring. Look at ROE or debt in isolation is noisy. Academic researchers have found massive alpha by combining binary fundamental checks into single quality scores. The herd screens for high ROE, use screen for mathematically screen for mathematically verified fundamental acceleration. Adios, almond gold. Have a good dinner. I hope it's good. Piotrowski F score. So let's put this into the PowerPoint. I'm gonna make a new slide. Call it more advanced features. Earnings estimate. A stock's features mean different things in different regimes. High beta is great when the S&P 500 is above its 200-day moving average. It's fatal when it's below. You already added VIX and treasury rates. So the problem with macro features was that my model is predicting a return relative to the market. Since these features are predicting return relative to the market. Since these features are the same for every stock, how can I incorporate macro features? Another error. Okay, so I need to troubleshoot this error, but right now I need to go get ready for my tax appointment. So thanks for watching. That's it for today. I'll be working more on this tonight. So tune in, subscribe, go to the GitHub, star the GitHub, watch the GitHub, follow me on GitHub. That stuff helps me out a lot. Like the stream. Yes, I am facing that issue. I haven't figured out how to manage it yet. I'm using the paid version, but not the expensive paid version. I'm using the $20 version. So, no. Let me know if you have any tips for that, though. Join the Discord. You could let me know there. Anyway, have a good rest of your day. Adios. I'll be streaming again tonight. See ya. Go to the GitHub, star the GitHub, watch the GitHub, follow me on GitHub. That stuff helps me out a lot. Like the stream. Yes, I am facing that issue. I haven't figured out how to manage it yet. I'm using the paid version, but not the expensive paid version. I'm using the